All right, everybody, it's time for another episode of Alright Bet. Andy St. Clair is back in the house. Louis, get us rolling.
Wanna bet?
Cash money.
It's time for another episode of Alright Bet.
Wanna bet?
No! God, please, no! No!
Tease it. Tease it.
When I want a chicken dinner.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, we're just living with it, Andy. We're
Yeah,
just living
I got
with
it.
that.
You know, I've complained about that tease it, but I liked it that time. I'm kind of coming around on the other side.
We're
I
coming
don't-
around to it.
Yeah, the last thing, I'd buy that for $1. I feel like it's over at winner chicken dinner, but I guess it's not. Louis wants to add one more.
What's that little Detroit RoboCop play there? You know, sometimes you got to get that little $1 12-teamer in there or something. I don't know, man. We'll see. When it gets fixed, though, guys, but we're going to have something new for you. Maybe we'll tease it. Tease it. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. All right, brother. Well, it's good to see you back in the shop, man. How's things going?
Good. You know, we're the last couple of weeks we've been a little hot, so hoping to keep that steam going. And it's bowl season. You know, I got a few bowl theories. I'll throw them at you. And the NFL is as predictable. You know, like the Chiefs doing Chiefs things, man. If you bet against the Chiefs for the last 7 weeks, you've won 7 weeks in a row. Which, guess what? I've been doing. The Chiefs are there. It's just the script is unbelievable what they do, which is you just win. You don't care about covering, and generally you take the under. So guess what? I'm going to give you a spoiler right now. I'm going to do that again this week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ride it until it bucks me. It may not buck me. It may buck me 2 or 3 times, but I'm going to ride it the rest of the year.
Chiefs hitting the under every damn week. Every damn week.
I feel like every time I come on here and tell you, or I'll text you on a Sunday, I'm like, guess what I'm on in the Chiefs over-under game? Under. Always under. And time. I've been beaten a few times. A few times I've gotten lucky and beat it by like 5, 3 or 4 or 5. That's okay. We're going to win 70% of the time.
That's the objective here, guys, is to be above 50%. And speaking of 70, I mean, we are clipping along. Guys, before we get into this list of winners from last week here, 16 to 24 for the NCAA picks that we handed out. I'm looking at my list here. 24 of 32 on our NFL picks from last week. I mean, what else can we be giving everybody, Andy? What else can you ask for in a free pick show?
It's hard. You know, we're just right now we've got a good vision. Also, I kind of feel like, especially in the NFL, you know, it's kind of reverting back to the gambling we know, right? Like in the early part of the season, you know, the favorites were covering the big numbers. Now as the season's moved down, it's back to what I think is a little more normalcy, whereas the big spreads are a little harder to cover.
Yeah,
which is
a little
good.
too hard.
That's where I like to live, right? I was getting beat early because I was more abnormal. Now it's kind of moving more back to normal. And it's going to be more success that way. I hope.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And now, like you said, with the NCAA, we're ramping down here, guys, because we don't have 35 games to pick from every weekend. We got the bowl games coming up. We got the playoffs coming up. So that segment of the show will be a little shorter, a little tighter. But the NFL's ramping up here heading into the playoffs. We'll see what goes on with that. But let's run through these quick winners last week so people could check tape on what we were talking about. Louis, hit the music, buddy. There it is. Hey, in the NCAA last week, it's championship weekend, and we gave you Jacksonville State. We said take Jacksonville State minus the 2.5. We tried to thread the needle there, didn't get it. Andy told you, I relayed the message for you guys, and Andy said, hey, these teams just played last week. Give me the over in this game. That hits for sure. Boise State, they cover. We were both off that one. That's one we missed. We were on UNLV, but that's fine because we jumped on the under in that game. That worked. Army plus 5 at 5.5. We were all over that. Ohio plus 2.5. What I tell you guys, I told you right here on the show, I know Miami's the better team, but I've been watching the MAC, listened to me. I've seen my Ohio turn the corner, and they win it. Marshall plus 5.5. We were both on that. Oregon minus the 3.5, covering on that thing big time. Our money line dogs that we gave you last week. Money line dogs now, Andy, are up to 31-21 on the season. We are 10 games over. All right, last week we hit on Ohio. We hit on Marshall. We missed on UNLV. That's fine. And the quick teasers there. We gave you Army in 13, Ohio in 10, Marshall 13.5, Oregon 3.5, SMU plus 4.5, Arizona State plus 5, UGA plus 9.5. All those line crossers, and I explained on the show why I was doing it. All of them hit. All of them hit this week on the line crossers. NFL, listen, we're going to be here all day. I'm not even going to run through this. There's 24 of them we handed out that were winners out of the 32. Listen, big week, big cash-in week. If you guys didn't do well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I was off on a few of those. My big play, in those late college football games, I liked Clemson a lot. I liked Marshall a lot, and I was on Penn State. And I will say, I do think Penn State, they could have gotten that cover. They were like literally 40, 50, 60 yards. But on that 2nd and 1 with like under 2 minutes, they decided to throw deep. I was like, what are you doing? Let's get a first down. Like, what are they doing? Like, blew the whole game. So I missed. That's a big one. That one hurt me a little bit.
They could not stop Oregon. Oregon scored on every damn possession, I think.
Well, here's the other thing is Oregon couldn't stop them, right?
They couldn't.
And if you're going to beat Oregon, that's how you're going to beat them, right? Their defense isn't very good, in my opinion. So you look on their side of the bracket. What a horrible draw for them, first off. Secondly, if Ohio State gets there, and if they get there, I would probably lean that game, honestly, to like Ohio State -1. And Ohio State.
Yeah, you broke up there. What was that last part?
Oh, I was saying if Ohio State gets to Oregon in the 8th, right, and they beat Tennessee, I think that game's going to be like a pick 'em, maybe Ohio State -1, and it's going to be very hard for me not to be on Ohio State. I guarantee I'll be on Ohio State.
That'll be close. It'll be close, man. That's going to be a tight game, but there are some brackets there. We're going to be getting into that in the next couple of weeks. I already told you one. I'll tease you guys right now. I'm jumping on Notre Dame to win it all. Now, again, I'm not predicting Notre Dame to win it all, but we're looking at that bracket and who's got the easiest path to maybe get to that final with the biggest odds for some value. And for me, that's Notre Dame right now, plus 900 or 950, I think they're at. Because, listen, if they win this week or next week, you know what I'm saying, but they win their first round game, they line up with Georgia, whose quarterback's out. They played 2 back-to-back overtime games in a row. I mean, on the road, neutral site. I don't know. I'll take my chances in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a great one to like look into for sure. Like it's
for
a great
long shot.
Yeah, for a great one for sure. I like the way that one looks. No doubt.
I mean, why not? Why not? That's what
I kind of think the team that you're going to have to stare at a little bit is going to be Texas, because there's a possibility, like they got Clemson and then Arizona State, and I kind of refuse to believe in Arizona State. So, like, I think that so you get there, they're into the 4 right there, in my opinion, and then it's like Ohio State or whoever, Oregon. I think if it's Oregon, that game, I'll take the over. Texas, Oregon, give me the over. If it's Ohio State, give me Texas. So I just kind of like what Texas has kind of there, but.
But what's the odds right now in Texas?
I don't. My site won't show it, so I don't know. But my guess, it's probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw the other day. It was like about plus 300, and I'm like, 5 gets me 15. I'm gonna put it on Notre Dame. But yeah, Texas has the best. They do, of the big dogs, have the easiest route to the championship. But we'll be banging those games to death as they're coming up on the schedule. Now this week, we are going to be off. The Big Six picks we're going to have the Army-Navy game. We're going to cover the Celebration Bowl, which is the HBCU championship game, which is South Carolina State against Jackson State. And we're also going to have West Virginia and, I'm blanking, Memphis and West Virginia. Those will be our Big Six picks games that'll be coming up tomorrow when we get big time into salute to the troops for the Army-Navy game. This week, there's only really 4 games in college football that we're going to cover here, and we're going to have some picks on those. So let's start with the Salute to Veterans Bowl, and that's going to be South Alabama -7.5 versus Western Michigan at 57. That's 57.5 is the over-under here. Now, as far as handing you out a pick on this game, I will take Western Michigan and the 7.5 points. That's where I'm going to be at. I've seen South Alabama play live, follow the Sun Belt, and the Sun plays there. I also follow the MAC pretty big too. I think the spread is just too high. Western Michigan has the ability to run the football, and that can give South Alabama trouble. I'm going to roll Western Michigan plus 7.5 on this. You're going to give me the hook.
Again, that game here, I'm on the opposite side only because I generally like to fade the MAC in bowl games, right? The MAC is fun in MAC games. When the MAC comes to the bowl games, not for me. I don't want to. I like also South Alabama is will not stop scoring on them. I just don't know how Western Michigan stops, and that pressure is going to be on Western Michigan too much. They're going to have to run the ball and be successful and score while running the ball.
Yeah,
1 or 2 stops, this game is over, and it is over quick. And South Alabama is going to dump it all over them. So the spread's going up right now. It's at 8 and still rising. If you do like Western Michigan,
wow.
I would hold. I would hold a little bit. I would let's see what gets closer. I'll also probably take the over because I think South Alabama is going to dump about 35 to 40, and then Western's going to get about 14 to 20. So I like South Alabama. I love South Alabama in the tees. Give them to me there. So that's Robbie.
You're going to tease it down. You're going to tease it down to a pick 'em.
Yeah. I'd also truly stay away from this game, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a scary game because there's only one way you're going to keep South Alabama at bay. South Alabama does tend to get in trouble, guys, when someone can run the ball successfully on them. They will dump a bunch of points if they get rolling. You look at all their close games and the games they lost this year, it's simply because they couldn't get in rhythm. You know what I mean? So if they can keep them from doing that.
Right. And the other thing is, like South Alabama, their running back is on the transfer portal. I think he led the team in rushing, but that doesn't matter because there's more running backs ultimately. The real interesting opt-out is that the stud tight end for Western Michigan, that guy, I think it's like Blake Bozeman is his name. He has opted out, and just no thank you. I like that their best receiver is out. Like, I don't want any part of Western Michigan. It's not. They just kind of
causing in trouble.
You got to keep an eye on the transfer portal a little bit. You got to see who. Like that guy's going to go probably to a big time program. I assume he's clearly going to a bigger one than Western Michigan. So
yep, he's one of the top tight ends in the country. So no
give
doubt about that. These are absolutely games you're going to have to watch right up until the last minute to see who opts out and who doesn't. Let's jump to this Boca Raton Bowl. Western Kentucky is +8 versus James Madison. 52.5 is over under in this one. Again, this was one of those games where, like you said, this is absolutely what's going on in the transfer portal. Who's going to play for these guys? Who's not going to play for these guys? I do happen to think this is too much of a spread. I haven't been all that impressed with James Madison this year. Good football team, but so's Western Kentucky. They made it to their conference championship game. They have the ability to dump points sometimes as well. So if you're going to be over a touchdown in this game, give me Western Kentucky +8.
I'm going to take JMU. Western Kentucky is like James Madison's got a good coach. I think it's in these bowl games. One of the situations is they're preparing for the next year, right? And one of my theories about this is like sometimes these opt-outs are important and sometimes they're not, right? Because something like if it's a 1 or 2 opt-outs, right? Like think about that USC game last year. I can't remember they played in the bowl game, but Miller Moss played. Basically won the USC job, right? Because Caleb why would Caleb play, right?
Right.
So he won the job last year off that bowl game, right? These guys who come in, haven't played, it's their opportunity to kind of win the job for next year. Figure out which way to go. I'm not always scared off by the opt-out. That's all my point is, or the portal.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what Western Kentucky's going to be without. And this is why I'm on JMU. I also think JMU's got coach, and I think he is filling in big shoes with Cignetti, and I think he's a Cignetti guy, and I think he's going to try a little bit. Like JMU tees down, JMU -8. But here's who Western Michigan won't have: their starting quarterback out, their starting wide receiver, their starting linebacker, their DN, their nose tackle, their DN, their safety, their kicker, another DN, another safety, a wide receiver, a D lineman, a running back, the backup quarterback. He was the original starter but lost his job. The third string quarterback. So, okay.
Oh man, no.
The top 3 quarterbacks are out. What are we doing? Right?
Yeah.
So
we're going to JMU.
You got to, right? I think JMU is going to pound them, and I think that those are things you need to find the list if you can somewhere. They're also their tight end who's out for the season with an injury, but those dudes are out. As far as I know, 3 quarterbacks won't be playing for Western Kentucky. Who's playing quarterback? Who?
Interesting. Well, there you go. That's why we do this show, guys. And that's the point that, well, I'm always trying to give you guys this point about the show, especially like in the last bunch of weeks of college football and NFL. It's one thing for the casual gambler to sit down, Andy, and look at these games and then pick teams, especially in college, based on like programs and who you think's going to beat who based on these names. But we're watching the games every week extensively, all these teams, and it's about matchups and who's playing who and what, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why in the last couple of weeks down the stretch in the season, we're cashing in on all that information and having big weeks the last couple of weeks, whereas the casual person sitting down and going, oh yeah, give me Clemson in this game, or give me, and it's like, no, it's a matchup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you got to pay attention.
If you want Western Kentucky, if you really truly want, and one, I would say in these bowl games, take your bets in half. Right? Don't go crazy big on these. Just wait on Western Kentucky, because I think that number is going to go up. If you want JMU, my prediction is you got to get it now. But if you want Western Kentucky, just wait. I think it's going to hit 10. I think it's going to hit 11. It's going to go higher. Western Kentucky just has a lot of opt-outs. So the night before, 2 days before, do a little research. It's not even that hard. You just Google, who's playing Western Kentucky, who's playing for Western Kentucky. They'll give the information. So it's not
give
really
you the information.
Right.
Wow.
So, but right now, just off this blind read a week or whenever before the game, I think you got to go all JMU.
Yeah. Well, you just swung me on both those games because I did not find that information of who's sitting out. So that's it. That's it, man. That's big time information. Let's find out who's playing and who's not playing in this Art of Sport Bowl, which is Cal -2 to UNLV. Now that spread alone says to me a bunch of UNLV guys have opted out. They should be the favorite in this game.
Who's the favorite? Cal, right?
Yeah, Cal, which makes no sense. UNLV should be the favorite in this game.
Well,
based on everything I've seen this year.
Sure, but UNLV is like, my questions are, what really do they have to play for? They had the high of making the playoffs. They beat Boise. They're probably in the playoffs. Now they're going to the LA Bowl. I don't give a shit about that. And I just don't know what's there for them. Also, their coach, former Missouri head football coach Barry Odom, took the job at Purdue. So he's gone. He's not even going to be there.
Right.
Now, sometimes won't. I think that's a good thing, right? Because they're going to try to impress whoever, But, UNLV's, the transfer portal, they lost Tony Grimes, their cornerback. That they got a couple guys that are pretty good that are potentially opting out. Cal is their starting quarterback is in the portal. That's the thing. So
yeah. So
I don't know on this one. This kind of fits into my theory a little bit that the quarterback that comes in for Cal is going to try to win that job, and by doing that, he's gonna be the guy who lowers his shoulder and takes a hit. When he's gonna go for it a little more. So I'm a little undecided, and right now, feet to the fire, I'd probably take Cal just because I don't know who's coaching UNLV. I just don't know, right? I don't know how hard these guys are going to try, especially the seniors without their head coach. If
I'm not sure if they've said yet or not, but I'm going to imagine it's probably, listen, most times in these cases, it's somebody from the staff, and it's not usually a guy who's best or next in line to be a head coach somewhere. It's usually the guy the players love the most. It's the love coach because they want to try to win this game. So if they get the coach it's like a Dan Campbell Miami Dolphins situation, they give the tight end coach the job because the team loves him. Let's see how they respond. So if UNLV goes with that coach, Cal without their quarterback, just from watching the season, to me, UNLV should, if they were on paper, UNLV would be the favorite in this game. They're a better football team than Cal this year. With Cal's quarterback being out, I'm going to roll UNLV. I'm going to take the dog here. That's probably where I'm going to end up. I'm going to probably, again, I tend to these bowls that are next week, unless I truly love a team like I really like Baylor versus LSU, for example. Okay. And Baylor's like +3. Okay.
And I just think LSU is going to quit personally. So I like Baylor. Like I might take Baylor early, because I'm afraid that number is going to go down. because the guys will start opting out closer to game time. Team like that, Texas Tech plays somebody who I like. Texas Tech, and as a dog, I like that team as a dog.
We're going to have a better idea in the next couple of weeks here on Alright Bet, because you're going to have more information on the portal, who's in, who's out, who's sitting out. This weekend is very knee jerk.
That's why I was finishing, which is that the games that are next week, most of them I'm going to wait on, right? Almost all of them. I'm just, the big favorites, maybe I sneak one bet in where I'm taking those big favorites like JMU. But a game like this, absolutely wait till like the day before, or maybe even 10 minutes before, because I want to see where the line, I just want to see where it goes. Because if it gets up to UNLV +6, like I'll definitely be on UNLV. If it's going to get to Cal -1, maybe I take Cal if I like them. I don't know. My gut leans Cal, but I don't know.
All right. Well, this week, guys, I'm not going to be giving you 3 money line dogs because I'm not going to hurt our bottom line by doing that with these games. So I'm just going to take 2. I'm just going to take 2 money line dogs I like of the 6 college games that are on the docket this week. One of them is going to be UNLV. I'm going to ride with UNLV as a money line dog. And the other one, I'm going to take South Carolina State over Jackson State in that Celebration Bowl. Now, that's not tipping what I'm going to pick in the Big 6 picks against the spread and all that. But for value there, I'm going to take South Carolina State as a money line dog for this week. I'm only doing 2. Just doing 2 this week. That's it, man. I can't go. I can't do it anymore. I can't go any higher.
Of those early games, I don't like a lot of the dogs personally. The one dog I would take is probably West Virginia, which we'll talk about. But outside of that, like I maybe would take UNLV. But you won't see me round robining these early games. I can promise you that.
No, these are too early. These are too early. And on that note, man, let's leave it alone, guys. Take it for what it's worth on those early college games. You heard what we. We got one more.
We got one more that we just want to touch on a little bit before it goes, right? And that's Sam Houston against Georgia Southern.
New Orleans Bowl, right?
The New Orleans Bowl, right? This is another game where Sam Houston, if you're going to get on it, is missing a lot of dudes, right? Another game, a lot of opt-outs. The coach is gone, I think. There's a lot of dudes missing. I think Georgia Southern's going to roll them personally. So I like the favorite again. So I'll just give you a quick read of who's out if you got a second. Here you go. Yeah. Starting running back, starting wide receiver. The wide receiver says he'll play. We'll see. The starting safety, he said he'll play, but we'll see. The starting safety, the other one, starting D end, starting cornerback, starting linebacker, starting DT. And then there's like 3 more defensive tackles, defensive end, 3 running backs, and the backup quarterback, all for Sam Houston State is in the portal.
Nah. Georgia Southern's a good football team too, man.
And Georgia Southern's good. And then guess who they have in the portal? Their backup quarterback and 1 wide receiver who played 60 snaps. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, we're rolling Georgia Southern in this one, and you better jump on it now before it gets north of 7.
Right. And what you really should do would be a really fun one is tease those 3 favorites that we talked about, the big ones. USA, JMU, and this one. Just 6-point tease. Boom. Sleep on it. And if you win, you win. And if one blows it and loses, whatever, it costs you $5, $10. It doesn't matter.
That's the thing. That's the thing for sure. Yep. Well, there you go, man. That's good information for this week's NCAA games. Make your picks if you're going to gamble them, just to gamble them. I probably will, just because it makes it more fun to watch the games. And I'm not blowing $100 on this damn thing, Andy. I'm talking about making probably 2 parlays at $5 a piece, and I'm out of this thing. I'm $10 in on 4 games over 4 days, and that's fine with me. That's entertainment. And if I hit something, I hit something. That's where I'm going to land on it, man.
Yep. I think that's the way, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump into the NFL, because NFL action is live right now, and it is picking up for the weekend. Now, our 3 NFL games for the weekend. Oh, man, I have them written down here somewhere. I know I do.
Steelers, Eagles.
Yeah, Steelers, Eagles, right?
Bills, Lions.
Packers, Lions. Packers, yeah. Okay, so we'll skip those ones. Those are going to be on the Big 6 picks for tomorrow. Let's jump on this Thursday game right away, though. We got the Rams and the Niners. Now, San Francisco's the home team. They're laying 3. Listen, they had a big week this week. 49ers had a big week, come back, scored a bunch of points on a terrible, terrible Bears team. I like the way the Rams are playing right now. I'm going to be on the Rams by the half point. I'm going to take the Rams plus 3.5. They have a tendency to win up there.
The Rams are just trick or treat. For me, the one thing San Francisco can't do is stop the run. Rams should be pretty successful. It's important for the under a field goal. I like San Francisco. I'll be on San Francisco at -2.5 personally.
Yeah.
I have a hard time trusting the Rams. Like, look, they would have lost to the Saints on the road 2 weeks ago, except for the tight end that always is that cool tight end for New Orleans, guy who blew out his knee for the year.
Oh
Whatever.
man, yeah.
Whatever his name is. But he runs.
Tyson Hill.
Yeah, the Saints would have beaten him 2 weeks ago. They were winning that game, and then he got hurt, and then that game was over. And the Rams won 21-14. So I don't like the Rams on the road as much. I do like the Rams at home. This game's not at home. They also, I believe, they beat San Francisco in that kind of crazy game earlier this year. I just think there's a lot of things moving in the right direction for San Francisco. I like the 2.5. Tease the Rams, but I like the 2.5. Also, the only thing with San Francisco is I'm not sure if their offensive lineman, what Trent Williams is playing. If he plays, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Trent.
But I'm not too worried about the running game for San Francisco. I just think San Francisco, the machine is moving. And will it have enough to get in? Has it made the hole too big? I'm not sure. But the machine's moving. I like the 49ers here.
This is going to be a great football game because both these teams are on to come up. Both these teams were decimated by injuries early and now have gotten guys back. Not so much 49ers yet. They're still trickling back for the 49ers, but you saw last week they got the ship right. The Rams have been trickling back since you mentioned the Saints game, and they were still a little banged up then. The last couple of games in a row, now you got Puka back. Now you got Cooper Kupp back. Now that offense is clicking, man, and they scored almost 50 on the Bills this week. It's going to be an exciting game. Both these teams are trending in the right direction. Should be fun. Should be.
Yeah. The other thing about this game too is we were talking about earlier. Is like I was saying, the NFL is moving back to like what it has been, which is to say this. This is a classic spot where all of America just watched the Rams beat the Bills.
Sure.
In an awesome game, scoring a lot of points. So all of America is thinking to themselves, especially the Joe public is thinking to themselves, the Rams are good. I just watched them beat the Bills. Now they're a dog on the road against a team that we don't know is very good. Yeah. This is what I say. This is a trap. This is a trap, and you're going to walk right into it. So be careful. That's why I like San Francisco, because we just saw them beat the Bears, and we're like, yeah, the Bears suck, and these guys are hurt, and they've been bad all year. That's not yours, but that's the mindset.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
So this is where I'm saying, if it is going back to the way it has been going, that's the way I believe San Francisco is the play here.
Okay. All right, man. Fair enough. Let's jump on a game I know we're both on the same page with here. You got the Chiefs -4.5 to the Browns. We're going to be on the under here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
43.5. We're going to be on the under in this game, guys. And at 4.5, you're probably going to want to take the Browns because the Chiefs will win it by a field goal.
There's no probably to it, bud. There's no probably to it. I'm looking at it's +4 and the over-under 44.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I do think in this game, yes, we want the Browns, no doubt. I do think this is the game where the over is very possible. But out of just what I just got to do all year, I'm going to play the under.
You got to play the numbers here. You got to play the numbers here, man. The Chiefs are just game managing and winning by a field goal. It's what they're doing. Yeah. All right, let's jump to the next game. Bengals right now, jump on this one early, in my opinion. You got the Bengals -5 right now to the Titans. Listen, the Bengals are in a must-win. They're not great. They're scoring points like crazy, but god damn, that defense can't stop nobody. And this week, that defense gets exactly what they need. The Titans, right? Give me the Bengals in this one. Give me the Bengals.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know where I'm going to be. The home dog.
Sure.
Because we just saw this game. We literally just saw this exact game. And it was Bengals Cowboys. Look, the Bengals shouldn't have covered that game. They got lucky to cover a mistake, blah, blah, blah. And definitely the Titans can do that. But I'm going to take the home dog. I'm going to take the 5. I will do the exact bet I did with the Cowboys. Give me the spread on the +5.5 on the home team, and give me the Bengals money line. This game's going to be like some weird. The Bengals play like they just play bad, and they play against teams, and Tony Pollard's going to run all over them. Levis is going to throw the ball on him. This game probably going to hit the over. I don't think it's going to be like Washington. I don't think it's going to be like the Washington game, right? I think that's the fear. 2 weeks ago, Washington played Tennessee and just pounded them like 42. I don't think it's the same type of game, but I think that's the fear. But I'll take the Titans in 5.5.
Yeah, the Bengals such a quagmire this year, man. You watch them play, and you're like, this is a good football team. They're
100%.
scoring 35 points a game. Joe Burrow, listen, he's got MVP numbers right now. MVP. Yeah. I saw a crazy list the other day that showed like the only other quarterbacks to start this hot through 12 games and had their records. They were all like 11-1, 12-0, 10-2, and he's got 5 wins. And it's mind-boggling, man. But
I can't run the ball. I mean, Chase Brown's good, but like if Burrow's not throwing it to Chase, who's he throwing it to ultimately?
Yeah, but they're scoring like that, and then the defense is turning around and giving up a ton of points. I don't understand what's going on with that defense. I don't get it.
You know, if somehow the Bengals find their way into the like a 7 seed in the playoffs, just absolutely terrifying. Like would be terrifying. Like let's say they go to it's Pittsburgh's 2 seed and Bengals a 7 seed. What's the spread of that game? Like 2.5? Like that game. If they go to Buffalo, it's just going to give me that would be like an over city, you know, like it's I don't think they're going to get in, but yes, I agree. I think they're terrifying if they can find a way.
They're dangerous, man. They just are. Let's jump on this Washington Commanders against the Saints. Look, Saints are washed, man. Saints are washed. We saw Carr go. I think I texted you immediately. If you didn't see Carr go down. During the play, I was going, what are you doing? And then he jumped up in the air and I go, oh, he ain't getting up from this. And then he landed and he didn't get up from it. Listen, Saints are washed. Taysom Hill's out. Carr's done. This team has chalked it up. Now, right now it is at 7.5 for the Commanders. I don't like that hook. So I'd probably just buy the point here and take the Commanders at 6.5. But listen, they're going to cover this game. They're going to cover this game if you can keep it at 7 or under.
I think they probably cover at 7.5. This is a great teaser game. First off, I get the general, you know, everything in my body is telling me to take the Saints at plus 7.5. Home team over a touchdown, got the hook. Like that is like screaming for me. But I just don't. Spencer Rattler is a quarterback. I mean, I wouldn't bet on Spencer Rattler when he was at South Carolina. I'm not sure why they take him here. They just nobody's. I don't know how you're going to run on them. I think Washington's coming off a bye. Like I don't like anything about this for the Saints. You know, this kind of reminds me of the Giants game a little bit, where I liked a couple weeks ago, where I liked the Giants against Washington. Yeah, and then Washington covered by like 5 points, but they kneeled down on basically the Giants goal line. They could have scored again. That's kind of where I see this game going. So I'm with you. I for sure feel comfortable with the tees. Washington and the tees.
100%. 100%. Yeah, this next game is going to be listen, this thing's ripe for a blowout. Ravens at the New York Football Giants. Ravens are laying 16. That is a huge spread that I think the Giants can give up. Now, look, I'm not betting it, guys. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not betting anyone to cover a 16-point spread in the NFL. It is not happening. If I'm playing this game at all, it's going to be on a tease. But boy, they could probably do it.
I'd play this up to 17, to be honest. Like the one way you can beat the Ravens can get beaten is passing the ball. That's how all these teams are beating the Ravens. They're staying in there. They can pass the ball. Drew Lock, Missouri football quarterback god, is not great at passing the ball in the NFL. No, can't do it. You can't do it. So I think you could play it up to 17. I think you could play it 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I would take the Ravens. I'm not going to bet this game because I will never take a 16-point favorite in the NFL. I just never will. I never will.
No.
But I think you could. It's one of those like Lock throws an interception. The Ravens have a short field. That's how this game gets out of hand. I for sure like the Ravens in the first half, whatever the line is. Could be -9. I have no idea. But give me the Ravens first half.
First half, maybe. All right, let's jump on the next one here. Cowboys at the Panthers. Panthers playing really good football lately, man, and you are happy about that. Carolina is laying 3 points here. This is the question here for this game, Andy. Yep. Is that they've been close to winning every week. They've been playing really good football. 3 points here. Is this the game the Panthers are going to get and finally get that win? On the flip side, you got the Cowboys who finally started putting up a bunch of points last week, found a way to lose the game. But
Yeah.
Cooper Rush is settling in. CMU Chippewas, Cooper Rush is playing a little bit better. Could this be a game where Panthers? This is a dangerous game, man. This is a dangerous
For who? For the Panthers?
game. For the gambler. I'm going to probably be on Panthers. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be on Panthers. 100%.
The whole world should be on the Panthers.
They're going to be.
The Panthers are good. I like it took them 7 or 8 games to figure it out. This team, imagine if this team somehow snuck into the playoffs, right? At like a 7 or whatever, 7 seed. Like, it would be kind of scary. It would be kind of scary. And I think you can make an argument who's had a better second year as a quarterback, Bryce Young or Stroud? I think it's Bryce Young.
I don't know. You can't, I mean, you got benched half the year, so you're going on a couple of game stats, which I would say is not fair. But I follow your point. He is playing good football in the last 4 games that he started.
Good. They got a coach who seems okay. I love Carolina here. I like them at -1. I like them at -2. I like them at -3. Dallas is not going to lose by 2. Dallas is they're going to lose by 3.
No, I'm going to be on the Panthers here with you, but it just makes me nervous because there's going to be a game here sooner or later where the Cowboys are just like, they're going to touch a ball they shouldn't, but recover it. And then they'll beat you. But I don't know. I'll be on the Panthers.
I'll be on them. It will be scary because I like them. I don't know how to bet them as a favorite. That's what you're saying. And I'm with you.
Yeah, right. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. All right. Jets, Jaguars. This thing reeks of ugliness. I don't want to have to watch this game, so I may not bet on it.
Horrible game.
Listen, Jets are laying 3.5 to the Jags. Who knows if it's going to be Mac Jones playing or if it's going to be Trevor's coming back. I don't know. I mean, if you're Trevor at this point, why do you even play another game for the rest of the season, man? Just shut it down. But
you're taking.
I hate this game.
We're taking the Jags.
I hate this game.
Well, yeah, sure, but we're taking the Jags. There's no world where the Jets should be 3.5 with the hook favorite. Aaron Rodgers, if you look at his stats, he's better at home than he is on the road. The road, he's bad. The Jags D will keep them in it. This is going to be a very similar game to the last week's Titans game. Everyone take the Jags. We're taking the Jags.
I don't know, man. If I have to bet this game, I may be on the Jets at -2.5. If I can get it under a field goal, I might take the Jets.
Jags money line. Jags will be in the round robin. Jags
money line is the bet here. Now you got me. You're right. Jags money line is the bet here. You're going to get some good value on that. Tag it up with something else, and there's a shot that could happen. I like Jags money line. I'll be with you on that. That's a good call. That's also, good call.
Don't bet this game, but if you do bet it,
no.
Jags.
Yeah, you hear me. We're just making some picks we're tossing out. These are not official on this game. We have been on the record. I'm not betting this game. I don't want to have to watch it.
Yeah.
Let's go Dolphins, Texans. Look, Houston laying 3 to the Dolphins. This is a stay away game for me. I don't like this game one bit. Houston is not the team you think they are. They're not playing great football. They're just not. And the Dolphins also not playing great football, but have the tendency to come out and be able to score some points. Warm weather here. I don't like it. I'll be staying away from this one by all means.
First off, I like the over. I'm going to hit the over on this game. It's going to be indoor. It's going to be indoors. The Dolphins tend to play well indoors. So do the Texans. At 3, I like the Dolphins. At 2.5, I like the Texans. I think Texans are going to win. I think it's going to be close. I just think, Texans also coming off a bye. Dolphins kind of show up and then they don't show up. I'm not sure which Dolphins team does, but I'm going to take the team off the bye in this one. And I think that coach will have them ready. They need to win. Not because they're going to lose a division, but it's not a slam dunk yet. So the Texans do need to win this game. So I like the Texans here. I'll be having the Texans money line in a lot of things.
Yeah, it'll be a good money line to be on that one, especially like you said, coming off the bye like that. Colts, Broncos laying 4 to the Colts. I'm going to be on the Broncos here. We saw them have their poo-poo game. I think they're a good football team. I think the Colts, I've not been on the Colts all year. I think Richardson's still got a lot of learning to do. He showed some moments where he looks really good, but this is a good defense. This is a good defense against a rookie quarterback. And I know you could say vice versa the other way with Bo Nix, but Colts not a great defense. So I'm going to roll with the Broncos here, especially at 4. Anytime you're at 4, guys, if you're going to bet like a parlay and get it moving, so you got a lot of moving parts there, 4 is a magic number for me on a multi-team parlay because I can get it down to 2.5. I can buy that thing down to 2.5, and that's what I'll do. I'll be on Denver in a parlay at -2.5.
I'm going to be on the Colts. Like, I just don't. I think usually Denver's a good defense. Like, are they? Like, they just gave up at home like 33 to Jameis. You know, they got lucky to win that game. To be completely honest,
They had the poo-poo game.
You know, like,
yeah.
and so look, all the Colts do with Anthony Richardson is cover. It's all they do. And I've been every week. I'm like, remember a couple weeks ago, it was like Lions Colts. I'm like, here are my two babies: the team that the Lions who just destroy everybody in cover, and the Colts who just cover. Like, they cover losses, and they'll do it again here. Look, Denver's good, but Anthony Richardson is big. He's going to run, and he's going to get out. And they got good wide receivers. They got a running back. Like, this game is not. I don't see how they win by like 5, 6, 7. I don't think Broncos are going to blow them out. I just, they beat the Raiders a couple weeks ago at home, like 29-19. Like, the Colts are better than the Raiders, and the only reason they won 2019 is because the Raiders threw an interception or fumbled or whatever, So I like the Colts here. Colts are a play I'm very into this week. Colts +4.
All right, man. All right, I'm going to be on the other end of that. Bills Lions, we're not going to get on that one. It's going to be big 6 pick. The Steelers Eagles, big 6 pick. Let's jump to Patriots Cardinals. Arizona laying 6 to the Patriots. This is where I'm at with the Cardinals this time of year. Every year, you know it, Andy. Fade Kyler Murray. The season's getting late. Fade Kyler Murray. But against the Patriots in a game that the Cardinals really need, and it's a home game, I'll roll with the Cardinals in this one. Patriots aren't looking very good.
Yeah, the Pats coming off a bye. I just don't know what their, coach situation is. I love a Cardinals tease. I can tell you that. So tease it down, don't pick them for sure. If that Pats game gets up to like 7, maybe you might have me interested. Cardinals tend to beat bad teams at home.
Sure.
By a lot. So I'm with you. I'm kind of with you on Arizona, but we'll see where the number goes. But I'm definitely teasing the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think everybody got a dose of the Cardinals. Like I was saying last week, I was all over the Seahawks. I'm like, fade Kyler Murray. Competitive games late in the season, fade them. Fade them. And that's where I'm at. But this is a game that they need to show up and show out. I'll be on the Cardinals, just like you said. Unless it gets north of 7, I'll stay away from this thing. Let's go Bucks Chargers. Bucks.
Okay. Hey, let me give you something while we're there, like on the Cardinals. I just looked this up. I just did the numbers. If you want to do like a Texans Cardinals money line parlay, 2-teamer pays about +150. Let me just tell you, I like that 2-team. Why not? Right? 2 home teams, small-ish to big mid-size favorites. Like, I like that. So just putting it out in the world there.
Yeah. Think about that one, man. Throw that one together. No doubt about it, man. I'd jump on it. Maybe throw the Jags with it. Make it a 3-teamer. You know what I mean? Why not? I'll cover it up both ways, man. All right, let's jump. Where were we? Bucks Chargers. Here we go. Tampa Bay is +3 at Los Angeles. Ooh, I don't know, man. Chargers. I like the Chargers. I think they're a good football team that's on the verge of getting somewhere, but they've been struggling to put some points on the board here, and the Buccaneers have been playing well. I don't know, man. What do you think on this one?
I like the Chargers. I think Baker the last few weeks has not been he seems a little more jittery to me. Like, the game was there for the Raiders, right? I mean, like, it was 14-0. You're like, this is a blowout. This is going to be over. It's going to be like 35-10. And then the Raiders hung around, and they hung around. And then until Aiden O'Connell gets hurt, then it was over, officially over. But they were in it. And I just think the Chargers defense pretty good. I think the Herbert and the running backs will do enough. I love, in fact, I'm going to say this. 3-team money line parlay. Let me see what it pays right now. And I'm going to tell you. Let's go. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take Arizona. And I'll throw in the Texans. This sounds fucking delightful. Ooh, baby. Look at this. This is +316. So you bet, for example, $10, you win 32. I love that parlay. So
that's a good parlay.
Texans, Chargers, Arizona. I like the money line. I like the -3. I'm more partial to the money line than the -3, but I like both. I'm on the Chargers.
Yeah, I need the Chargers because I need the Falcons to win the division so I can cash in that bet from the from the preseason that I thought was money. I had already counted that and put it in my pocket until midnight hit Kirk Cousins here, and we're in trouble. But All right, man. I'm with you. I'm gonna roll Chargers. I'm gonna roll Chargers -3. I need the Bucks to dump this game so they can get even, man. But then that means I need the Falcons to beat the Raiders this week. Let's just jump to that one. Atlanta laying 4 at Las Vegas. They have to cover. They have to win. I'm betting the Falcons this week. I'm betting them. It may be, now I get it. It may be the Riddler against the nemesis team that kicked him out the door. He may be starting this game at home against the Falcons. But to me, this is not a Jerry Jeudy situation. This is not a running back or a wide receiver looking to get revenge on a team. This is a quarterback who had problems making bad decisions, who's going to be in I want to win this game press mode, making bad decisions. So please give me Ritter to start the game and give me the Falcons laying the 4.
Tough game. You know, this one I haven't made really any decisions on, but I will say, like, I lean Raiders here only because Cousin just doesn't want to get hit anymore. Like, I get it. I don't want to get hit either, but I'm not playing professional football.
Yeah.
You know, like, as soon as he gets hit, there was in that Vikings game that there was like 14-14 and some Vikings guy popped him and it was incomplete pass. And I was like, oh, it's over now. Right. Like, he got hit. I was like, he was never quite the same again. Look, Crosby's going to be a problem. I don't think he was going to want anything to do with that. I'd probably lean to the points. I would definitely tease the Raiders up to 10, even 11, whatever.
Tease the Raiders up to 10 for sure.
I don't know who's going to guard Bowers. I have no idea. Like, I don't know who's taking Bowers. Like, Bowers is going to have a big day, and so will Jacoby Myers. So I don't know. I'm just going to take the home dog there. But I got to do a little more work on that. But right now, I lean Raiders.
I'm saying desperation game for the Falcons, and you need like one of 4 teams in the NFL to play for a week that you need to get right. Raiders are one of them.
Yeah,
I'm going to have the Falcons on this one. Let's go again. Here's another one that's in the same type of situation for me. Vikings Bears, please. The Bears are chalked up. They're chalked up, man. And it's everybody. The focus is on Caleb Williams, and that offense, Caleb Williams and that offense. They are who they are. It's the defense that is up and gave up. You know what I mean? It's the defense. They were great in the first half of the season, and now these guys are just in a position where they're like, you guys can't fucking score, man. And the defense is folded up soft. It's a 7-point spread here, though. Vikings, I don't think so. I don't like that. If it goes to 7.5, Andy, I'll probably be on the Bears here, despite everything I just said. Take that Vikings game out of the equation last week where it's 21-all with the Falcons in the fourth quarter. They win by 3 scores and they score 40-something. That ain't the story of that football game. Now look back at the bunch of the last Vikings games. They're not blowing people out. They're not covering 8, 9, 10-point spreads. They weren't. I don't know if I like them at 7.5.
Well, I like to tease them for sure. I would definitely like to tease the Vikes. The problem is I just don't think Caleb – I have found this year, and I think Caleb's been pretty good at home, but I think on the road he's been pretty bad. Like, bad on the road. Bad. And he's one of those – this just happens early with players. Like, they're just bad on the road. So that's why I lean the Vikings. I'm with you. It is a lot of points. I don't know. You know, my lean on this Monday night game is like, if it gets to 7, 7.5, then I'm probably going to hit the Bears a little bit. I'm sure I'll be texting you Monday being like, Bears +7, Raiders +4. I can't help it. Here I go. I guarantee that happens. But for other bets, I'll probably be on the Vikings money line. I'll probably be on the Vikings tees. I'll have those parlayed around. The Vikings, I will say this about the Vikings too. Darnold had gotten over whatever he had, right? So he was really good at the beginning of the year. Then he got bad in the middle of the year. And then we're like, I think Darnold turned into a pumpkin. But the last few weeks, he's just figured out,
good.
Just throw it to Addison, throw it to Jefferson. Who cares? And it's really worked out for the Vikings. Also,
he really looked confident against that Falcons team, stepping up in the pocket, rolling around and chucking it down the field. Looked like he was having fun. He definitely does. I'll be on this thing at 6.5, but once this thing starts getting 7.5, 8, I'll be out on it just because that's a lot of points for a divisional game. But please don't get me wrong. You see my man Kong behind me here. I need the Bears to win this game. I need the Bears to beat the Vikings, buddy, for sure. Well, that's all our action for the NFL this weekend. We already covered the other Monday night game. That's Raiders Falcons. Man, that's where we're at. We'll probably be looking at some over-unders during the course of the week as this thing builds a little bit. But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with the Big Six picks, guys. Turn in to salute the troops, Army, Navy game, big weekend. Going to be a lot of fun. Bowl season is here. Playoffs are here, Andy. We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. You know, it's going to be fun. Let me give you one teaser just for fun.
Do it.
We should do counting the Rams. Let's bump those Rams up to 8.5, 9. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. And then for fun, let's I'm probably you got a lot of options. You want to do the Vikings, you want to do the Cards, you could probably do Washington. You could pick two of those teams. You could also pick the Browns. You can bump those Browns to like 10. I love that. So all I'm saying is like put one in there for us. Rams, and then pick two of those other teams. I'll just say take the Cards. And I'd say just for fun, let's let Jameis decide our fate on the third one. So Jameis at 10, Jameis at 10, and the Cards at a pick 'em, and the Rams at 8.5. That sounds like a really delightful Thursday day of betting.
Yeah, that's not going to be bad at all. I'll roll with you on that, man. The Chiefs, give me Browns 10. I'm in on that. We'll play the under on that. Throw that in on the teaser as well. Tease that thing up to like under 52 or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't forget about teasing those over-unders, man. That's where the money's at sometimes, brother. All right, man. Well, that's our picks for this week, guys. We have been red hot, man. So I'm telling you, listen to the show. Get your picks together. Put them down on paper. Get your own parlays put together. Get some money going, and we'll see you next time.
Wanna bet?
Cash money.
It's time for another episode of Alright Bet.
Wanna bet?
No! God, please, no! No!
Tease it. Tease it.
Wanna chicken dinner.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, I'll buy it for $1.
$1.